Hi, welcome to SwingBadder. Don't forget to like and don't forget to subscribe. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit it right now. Hit it. Hey, everybody, I am your host. Welcome to SwingBadder, your weekend review. I am your host, or your batter review. I'm your host, Brendan, as I said, joined by my favorites. Todd, how you been? How you doing? How's life?
I'm concerned about you that you have to reinforce your own name twice.
Still Brendan, everybody.
All right, good.
3 times.
Third time's a charm.
Dad, how you doing?
I have a bullpen headache. Man,
I hate those.
awful to go into the ninth with the game won and then you find out you didn't win it.
Hey, do you know that's one of the main reasons the Diamondback fans leave in the 8th, right?
So you don't have to watch the ninth.
They just assume they won. There you go, everybody. That's how you clear the bullpen headache. You just turn it off after the 8th inning. And just assume the 3 outs would vary.
Or when you bring that guy in to pitch the ninth, tell him it's the 8th.
Oh, I like that idea.
That might be a good idea.
And now, your 8th inning pitcher. Just don't let him know it's the 9th. It just does something to you. Gives you the shakes.
This is who's that owner? The Bill Veck. This is a Bill Veck strategy.
You have a scoreboard say 8th and then 8th. Or 8 and then 8 and then 8B.
That'll do it.
That's what you do. Yeah, so here we are. We're our weekend review. The one team that I want to focus on today, everybody. And it's a team that's near and dear. We picked them pretty high, and they didn't start very good, but they're starting to show some signs. Your Seattle Mariners. That's right, Mariner fans. We know you. We love you. We know that you were kind of robbed last year in the playoffs. We know you're coming back strong. They're currently sitting at 17-17. They had a very tough start to it. A couple things that strike me about the Mariners. They're currently 28th in batting average in the league. That would be only ahead of the Cleveland Guardians and the Minnesota Twinkies. Not surprised about the Twinkies. Thank you, Joey Gallo, for participating with the Twinkies. And their pitching, which is actually very good, their pitching is fifth in Major League Baseball. So they always had strong pitching. They have very strong starters. They have, I would argue, definitely 2 aces. They are by far carried on their pitching, but they have really good hitting. Now, like most of us know, Seattle's a little depressing in April and in May. And we're getting, I should say, in the start of the season's a little depressing. So now we're May, June, starting to brighten up. People are starting to feel better. Or as they say, the bats are being fed. So I expect Seattle to hit on a hot streak with the bats, start to turn around some wins, and that division is very much there for the taking. The Astros have had some very bad injuries to start the season, and the Texas Rangers and Angels proved in their last series that neither of them are good at pitching or closing. So Seattle has the best pitching of the division, in my opinion, and the batting will turn around. That is my hot take on Seattle coming to you. Agree or disagree? My panel of experts. Dad, go ahead.
Well, I've always thought Seattle was good, and I thought they would come back. So I'm with you 100%. But you said something I got to get a clarification on. The Twins, really low in batting, but they're sitting in first place. What's their run differential?
That's a very good question. Very good question.
How could they be in first place with such horrible batting?
Well, part of it is the division that they're in.
They're a plus 26 currently.
Yeah.
Well, you're right about the division. Nobody has a winning record except them.
The Twins do have something that they do very well as a low batting average team. They have 45 home runs.
Okay.
So they hit a lot of home runs for a low batting average team. But again, when you sign Joey Gallo, I like that they're all in on that strategy. But the Twins are the Twins. Seattle currently is sitting at a 226 average as a team, which is not going to do it. They're going to get hot, and their pitching will stay very solid. Todd, agree or disagree about my Seattle Mariners?
I don't know about the pitching because what do you think with Robbie Ray's injury? Is that something that's going to nag at them, or is that going to stick around?
I have a love and hate relationship with Robbie Ray as a Diamondback fan.
Yeah.
He was a Diamondback, and then he went off to Toronto. Then he went to Seattle, and he does pitch very well. He had a great year last year. He tends to annoy me, but from a standpoint of, does it hurt Seattle in the long run? How long are they saying he's out? Let me ask that.
Well, right now he's on the 15-day.
Okay. But what are we talking? Arm, hamstring? What is it? Tailbone because he fell down for drinking too many drinks?
What was that injury? He was
because if we're talking about like a DeGrom injury where he has tightness forever, I would be very worried. But if it's like a hamstring, he usually has a hamstring injury.
No, he's actually out for the whole year.
Oh, we're breaking news. You're breaking news to me.
Tommy John surgery.
Who? Robbie Ray?
Yeah.
So you said 15 days.
Well, he's on the 15-day list, but they're going to move him to the 60-day injured list.
So he's gone.
He's out. Goodbye, 2023.
That's terrible news for Robbie Ray. Well, you still have...
Moment of silence for Robbie Ray and the Mariners.
Yeah, that's very tragic.
Join a list of good teams with big players out.
He's their highest paid one, too. You're talking about $21 million. Collect the insurance policy on that one, right?
Oof.
So
well, look at the ERA of the rest of the starters, if you will. They still have the ace, Luis.
Uh-huh.
And then I believe Gonzalez is doing well. I don't know about Gilbert.
Let's see for a second. See if we can take a look at the pictures. Because
So let me just, we'll go through this really fast for everybody. So the ERA, you got George Kirby is sitting at a 3.11. Luis Castillo is a 2.38. Mr. Gilbert's a 4.01. Gonzalez is a 4.7, so not really doing that good. So again, you lose Robbie Ray. Where was he sitting? Did he pitch at all? He only pitched 3.1. Oh. So Robbie Ray pitched basically 3 innings of one game, and that was it.
yeah,
He did not do well that one game at all. So as far as your starters are concerned, I mean,
so what's your starting rotation right now? Right?
Castillo, Kirby, Gilbert, Gonzalez, and then Flexen is the other one.
Right.
Gonzalez is the one that you really need to pick up. I thought he was doing better than he is. Gilbert is doing well. The 3 starters you have have teams batting against them are under 230. The other 2 starters are not as good, which is why you're having the issues you do. Pitchers that could... I mean, there's a couple guys that they can probably... This is when you want to go after players. This is when I would be like, Seattle, go get Trevor Bauer.
But my understanding is they've got guys in the minor leagues that they're going to be able to bring up as far as talent is concerned. But I think, the Robbie Ray thing, I think, is going to drag pretty heavily on them. Although I think if you look at their upcoming schedule for May, they really only have a couple big tests going on. They have Texas, who they're playing as we're recording this right now. And then they have some pretty easy games. But I think that, let's see, who do they have? They got Bryce Miller, who's a right-handed pitcher that they've got in the minor leagues. They could bring him up. Emerson Hancock. But those 2 guys right now are in Double-A. I think right now Taylor Dollard and Cade Marlowe. Cade Marlowe's an outfielder, but Taylor Dollard, they're expecting him to come up this year and to make an appearance. But he's their number 9 ranked prospect. So
It's an interesting May. So an interesting May for them. They got Texas, Detroit, Boston, who's playing much better than we expected, especially hitting wise. They're a top 5 team on hitting.
That's
Atlanta,
not
which is
though. I mean, I keep looking at all these teams, and I'm wondering, like, when is this stuff going to break, and when is it going to go the way that everybody thought it was going to go at the beginning of the year?
like
right?
when is the medicine going to take? Like
Right.
everyone's taking the pill. Like
Yeah.
So they get the A's for 4 games, which they'll be grateful for. Then they get the Pirates in New York to close out the month of May. So it's a very exciting month of May from a standpoint of you have a couple really interesting, in my opinion. I want to see how they go against Atlanta. I think they clearly cannot afford an injury to Luis. He's their ace. They have to keep him going.
Well, they got to keep every pitcher healthy right now. You can't be losing guys now.
But in that division, I could argue with the Angels and the Rangers having their issues with pitching. I mean, it's for the taking. 17-7, it should not be alarmed. If you're a Seattle fan, you shouldn't be alarmed. You shouldn't be sitting there being depressed, even with the Robbie Ray injury. I think they're coming back. I appreciate you breaking the news about Robbie Ray. Feel for you. But I'm sure that $21 million will make you feel a little better. But I do like Seattle at the end of May definitely being the top 2, if not the top team in that division.
Yeah, I still like them for the division. I don't think Texas has the staying power that everybody thinks they have. Yeah, the one thing is Houston, though. Like, do you really think that Houston's not going to come back from the 17-17 that they're at?
They had a similar injury, but I think their pitcher was much stronger. I think it was Garcia who got hurt.
Yeah,
nice to do it. Tommy John. I think he's a much better starter than Robbie Ray. My opinion. And Robbie Ray was, again, if you look at his stats last year, whatever stats last year for Robbie Ray, let's look at what they're losing. Because he had a huge year last year. He had, I want to say it was 200, if I remember correctly, 202 innings, and he had over 270 strikeouts or something like that. If I remember correctly. What do you got?
Taking a look right now. It is 371. 189 innings with 212 strikeouts.
Okay, so I was way high.
Won the Cy Young the year before when he was with Toronto. So,
then he signed his big deal with Seattle.
Yeah,
I will say this: the most interesting things to me about Tommy John, which is why I will never understand this injury. Max Scherzer has never had, knock on wood, I hope this never happens. He's never had an injury with his arm.
Oh God.
But the Diamondbacks literally. No, he's never. He had Tommy John in 2019.
Are you talking about Tommy John surgery?
Yeah, I'm talking about Tommy John surgery. Like the Diamondbacks let him go because the way he pitched, they were so concerned about his arm. And Robbie Ray is such a leg guy. He is a leg pitcher. So clearly, I mean, I just don't know how. They're throwing with such velocity. How do you even predict this stuff? It's so difficult.
Yeah, you make a guess. You know?
Yeah, I mean, and then when it happens too, because it happens at the weirdest time. But then you could say, look at Verlander, how he bounced back from it at his age. That Robbie Ray next year will be much stronger. But I still don't think this is the year you walk away as Seattle. I agree with you. I think I would be looking at Trevor pretty seriously if I'm Seattle. That division is for the taking. I will tell you this about Texas, which is something that Dad warned us about. Their batting is very, very strong. I mean, they're plus 85.
Well, it's huge.
So their batting is certainly showing that they're competitive. I don't believe them. Like, I don't believe it. Like, they may have to keep doing this for a long time for me to be a buyer of them. But I just think Texas's relief pitching has been so brutal. Like, you want to talk about the putting an 8th inning on the scoreboard there. I mean, they've had 6-1 leads and lost 7-6 with like 3 outs to go. We talked about that's a terrible way to lose these games when you're up 6-1. Not 2-1, not 3-1, when you're really, really up.
Right.
I just have this gut feeling that when the Yankees and Houston get the injuries back, they're both going to move up. Although I have to tell you, Tampa has opened up a really big lead. There's still a lot of games left, but man, what at 800% is they're winning?
We're in horse racing season, and since we're from the Saratoga area, somewhat around that area, this is like the longest horse race. And when the horse jumps out to an early lead, the Rays are so far ahead. Like when you're watching this race, it's almost like you just want to throw up because they're so far ahead of you. And the Yankees have had so many injuries, switching to another division, obviously, in the AL East. The thing that surprises me about teams that we're looking at that, again, to Todd's point, when's the reality going to set in for these teams? The Yankees are better than this. Boston's not this good. When is the reality going to set in?
Yeah, I mean, like, listen, are you going to sit here and tell me that the Rays, the Red Sox, the Diamondbacks, Rangers, and Cubs are going to be the top 5 in batting average for teams at the end of the year? Those are going to be your top 5? I don't buy that. And you're going to tell me your bottom teams are going to be the Twins, Guardians, Mariners, Dodgers, and Yankees?
I will say this, I'm pretty impressed with the hitters that Boston has. They got this guy Yoshida.
Oh, he's great.
I mean, they got some hitters.
He's impressive. And they kind of signed him under the radar too. They signed him and then he made a splash in the baseball classic. Everybody got really excited about him. But I don't believe Seattle's going to be in the bottom 5 when it comes to batting average at the end of the year, which means our offense is going to come back. And they just have to kind of fix that big hole that they've got right now with Robbie Ray. I think Texas is primed to be knocked down. The Angels, despite the fact that they have the 2 best players who've ever lived, can't seem to win a game, to pull away from anybody. And so, yeah, I think that division is primed right now for Seattle to come in and take it. Hold your head up, Seattle. You've produced a couple of good things. I think you're going to produce this team and grunge music.
So there's 2 teams above 270 in batting average. The Boston Red Sox are 271 and Tampa Bay Rays are 276, which I know is not significant, but in a team batting average to be up that high compared to the number 2 team, the pitching is what is alarming to me about the Rays. This is why it's such an historic start for the Rays. They have a team ERA of a 3.01. The next best team is a 3.32.
Oh.
That is not just around the corner. That is around the bend. And if you look at Tampa Bay, what was their one signing from the Phillies? Who was the pitcher
Zach
that they got?
Eflin. But are we going to get into this? Because the last game Zach Eflin pitched, as of this recording, that umpire was giving him a good 3-4 inches outside the strike zone. There's no way he's going to get that everywhere he goes. I mean, it was Angel Hernandez levels of incompetence in that game.
I don't disagree with you, and this will be hopefully the last year of the non-computer umps so we can get rid of the whole debate of strikes, balls. If the computer does it, we're all happy. So hats off to the AAA experiment. They, again, can continue to find pitching and stats of players. They are a very low payroll, just so people know how low we're talking about. The Tampa Bay Rays are the 28th team in payroll.
It's disgusting.
Of 30, and they are running away with it. The Pirates are 27th, and the Orioles, who have had a fantastic start, and in any other start of a season, the Orioles are crushing it. That's 29th. Those bottom 4 teams, three of them would be leading divisions if the Orioles were in another division. So going back
to give you an idea, each of those 3 teams are making less than Max Scherzer and Verlander combined.
Yeah, and that's very
just pride. Like, let that sink in.
The SwingBadder teams of the year have got to be the Mets, Yankees, Padres, and Phillies so far. They have none of those teams have started well, and all 4 of those. That's the top 4 teams in baseball payroll.
Let's stick with the good news.
Okay, good news.
Stick with the good news, because if we go to the bad news, it's going to turn into an hour-and-a-half epic, and quite frankly,
we don't have time.
James Cameron don't have the time to make that movie.
So let's go back. Let's round back into Seattle. And Robbie Ray is going to hurt. That's 180 innings they're losing. They'll find it. Obviously, you just hope. Can you find it with that kind of performance? I doubt it. But Tampa seems to figure it out. So I have a lot of faith in Seattle, the farm system there, what they've been doing. The division's for the taking. I think the Rangers are clearly more real than I thought with the hitting that they have. I think that, again, You cannot win a division with bad relievers. And Texas has proven, and the Angels have proven, they want to give away games at the end. This is why, Dad, to your point, Houston is dangerous, and this is why Seattle is ridiculously dangerous. They close games out. Seattle's not going to give you games back.
By the way, I just looked this up. The Mariners rookies. There is one rookie that has an ERA higher than 1.3.
Wow.
And some of them have 1 inning pitched, but and this one that has the 9.0 ERA has 3 innings pitched. He's allowed 3 runs. But you've got Bryce Miller, who's 12 innings pitched. He's allowed 1 run. Justin Topa's got 14 innings pitched. He's allowed 2 runs. And Easton McGee is 6.2 innings pitched, 0 runs allowed. That's where you're going to make up for the Robbie Ray thing.
I concur. The other thing I like is the closer for Seattle. I know he's got an ERA right now of a 3.5. However, his whip is 0.89, 9 saves, 2 wins. So even when he loses the lead, he still has the win, which means that he's not doing what the Diamondbacks and the Rangers are doing. The Rangers specifically allowing 4 or 5 runs. So 9 saves to start the year, 17-17. That's a really strong closer. I love that closer. I think his ERA is going to go down. A 0.89 whip is fantastic. To me, that's really, really good. He has allowed 2 home runs, 4 walks. The home runs have got to stop, but that's baseball today. So Seattle, I see you up. Buy Seattle. If you're going to buy a team, buy the stock of Seattle. I like where they're going. I like what they've put together. I think they're going to start hitting some wins. They're going to have a streak here, a streak there, go 9-1, 8-2, 7-3, whatever it may be. And then they're going to project right into the top of the heap there.
I like Seattle. I don't study the statistics like you guys do, and when you start talking and I start looking at them, my jaw is open at Tampa. Just jaw. I think I counted 8 pitchers who had pitched at least like 13 innings, whose ERA is 3.11 and lower. 8.
The opponents are batting 200 against them, like 205 or something. Like that's not sustainable.
They got a reliever with an 0.59 ERA.
Come on. So
that's you're talking about bullpen, and the thing that's amazing, that organization does it every stinking year with no-name players.
Let's talk about the manager, because he's clearly pulling the strings at the right time. I mean, he's like, this guy's not going to... Can you imagine having that? Which guy do I want today? Let me see. Oh, geez, he has a 3.11. No, I don't want to use him. Let's use the guy who's got a 0.59.
Yeah.
Tough calls. Flip a coin. What is the manager's salary for the Tampa Bay Rays? Does he just sleep it? Do they even post the manager's salaries?
Well, he's not taking a percentage of the gross.
Nah.
I don't know. I can't get manager salaries.
That would be an interesting thing. How about the Rays GM salary? Do we have that?
No, that is, that's, he should take a percentage of the gross because he's kept the salary so low. The gross is absolutely and completely out of whack.
Well, Kevin Cash is the manager name for the Tampa Bay Rays. Oh, here we go.
Is he making cash?
1 year, $700,000.
That's like less than the league minimum for players.
That probably isn't correct.
Isn't the league minimum for players 750?
I thought it was 500, but
No. That was his last contract with the Rangers. They do not list his managerial contract.
Well, it's got to be, it's got to be good. I mean, I don't know, great, but it's not.
But if you really want to get into the Rays, which we're not going to, he does talk a lot about the schedule and how he loves it because he doesn't play teams as much. so he can throw up 5
Oh.
pitchers in a game, so you're not used to seeing all these pitchers.
Yep.
So again, if you have to scout the managers differently because they will use 4 pitchers, 5 pitchers in a game. They will use a starter. They're very different.
So the GM of the Rays started as an intern there in 2007. So pick your internships well, kids.
Well, this also goes to show you that if you're an intern and you stay with one company, he's probably not getting paid the best. Like if he would have gone to Boston, I guarantee you would have been paid a lot more.
Yeah, well, go figure.
If he put his resume on that old website, Indeed.com, can you imagine who's calling?
Jeez.
The awesome Vegas A's.
We should really be. Tampa proves what SwingBadder talks about. You know, for about a month and a half, we talked about all these huge free agent signings. Did you look at Carlos Correa's batting average? 198. And we were crying about the Mets, the Twins.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the other team? He signed with 3 different
San Francisco.
San Francisco. He's batting 198. In the meantime, little Tampa Bay signed Zach Eflin. We all thought they were stupid. And they got 8 guys with ERAs under 3. I mean, they're the model franchise.
We're talking about
ninjas.
getting some value. Holy cow.
They're the ninjas. You don't even know who's coming in. They have so many pitchers. That's the thing that he does. Again, this is why they like the schedule format. You face the Rays 8, 10 times. Like if you're the Yankees, you face them 12 times. They'll use probably 20 pitchers.
Yeah.
But the amazing thing is they got him. Other teams don't have that many pitchers that you can trust.
But none of the agents of those pitchers are telling the managers, hey, I want this to be a starter. He's going 5, 6 innings. They will use him 2, 3 innings. There can be an argument that Tampa's abusing their pitchers by pitching them 2 innings here, 3 innings there, having so many games to pitch that blowing out their arms, what have you. But again, going back to the Tommy John conversation, I don't even know. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well,
if you subscribe and like to us, we can probably get a budget to get a cough button so we can delete some of that stuff, or maybe the eat button. I don't know. Maybe we'll have something like that. We can even, maybe you can pay us a subscription service or log in and try to advertise, and we'll just your logo will come up every time we cough. It'd be great. That's all we got for Seattle, unless somebody's got a final nail in the coffin for Texas. Does anyone think Texas is going to keep pulling away?
no, because Jacob deGrom's going to explode. It's an oldie but a goodie.
It's not going away.
It's coming.
Dad, you think Texas has the clout to keep them at bay?
No. Their hitting will keep them interesting, but in the end, like you said at the beginning, you got to look at the bullpens. The bullpens will save you or kill you. That's the way it works.
Every time.
By death by 1,000 cuts, if you will say. Because the worst part about having a bad bullpen is when you pull a bad bullpen pitcher for another bad one to come in. And you're at those games and you're watching them like walk the guy to the dugout. You're like, oh, thank God. And they're like, here comes a guy with a 6.5 ERA. And you're like, oh, no. It may get worse. And now with the rule is you have to face 3 guys, right? 3 outs. So again, when it goes bad, you can't. It's like watching a plane with a bad wing, just circling, and there goes the game, folks. Well, that's what we have. We have Seattle on the up, bye. I'm not going to mention the stock guy's name because he's always do the opposite of him. However, at SwingBadder, we do believe in Seattle, and we have so far not been proven wrong. As Seattle has started poorly on the bats, I believe the bats do eat, and they're very hungry. Time to eat, Seattle. I am your host, Brendan, again. Todd, thanks for joining. Dad,
Happy to be here.
thanks so much.